What up, world? It's your host with the most, don't need to brag about. So all I do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way. And what I want to talk about is what happened to our young brother, our distinguished young brother. Put his neck out on the line to defend another young brother that was slain by the Dallas police. You know what I'm saying? The cop that was belligerent, racist, didn't care much about what she did at the time, and she only got out for 10 years. This very next day, they went and assassinated my brother. Now, I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm trying to figure out, like, what where they get off doing some stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't even gonna fucking like say, oh, it's a theory. It might be gangsters. It might be this. It might be that. The coincidences are too fucking strong, man. And what is Dallas known for? What is Dallas known for? Killing motherfucking President Kennedy. So you think this shit is not an easy shit to hide, cover up? Let's keep it real now. Let's keep it the buck. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it more and more, and I'm trying to figure out like all these gangs and gangsters and everybody and shit like that they say is down in Dallas, Houston and shit like that. After today, y'all can't chuck none of that badness or that gangster shit. Y'all can't chuck none of that shit. Cause that shit's for the birds. You dig? All that shit's for the birds, and y'all fucking know it. I know it. Everybody fucking knows it. We see the fucking picture for what it is. I just want to go over this shit again because I wouldn't be doing my part if I don't expound and talk about the situation and see what we can get. You know what I'm saying? How we can get behind this whole thing because this shit is crazy, yo. He was literally silenced. Friday, October 4th. Can you dig it? And these motherfuckers think this shit is sweet. Ain't nothing sweet about us. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out. Is it really that deep? It's because he testified on a police officer. They targeted him. Did everything they had to do in order to get at him. You know what I'm saying? To make it a motherfucking point to kill this motherfucker, this young man who was a freedom fighter. I call him a freedom fighter, you know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, man. Because it takes a lot of balls to get up there and talk about the police and let them know what they did wrong and how they fucking fucked up the world for people, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can suck my dick if y'all don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I ain't trying to stir up no racial nothing, no tension or nothing like that. It's just very divisive at this point, you know? So I want my people to understand where I'm coming from with all this. Ain't no more gangster shit. Ain't no more fake shit. Going at each other over dumb shit. Shit is too critical now. You know what I'm saying? Way too fucking critical.
Who laid out the next steps guidance defense team might take. Though Geiger's trial has come to a close, this is likely far from over. The attorney we spoke to today says that Geiger's case could be tied up for years in this court.
It's rare that the cases are just going to overturn, but I mean, anything happens.
Trial observers like defense attorney Heath Harris are looking ahead to what could happen in Amber Geiger's murder conviction in appeals court. Harris has experience as a former prosecutor on police cases and believes Geiger's attorneys will move aggressively to get a new trial.
So they think that they can just scare us off and shit like that, and nah, fuck that. You gotta appeal to put her under the jail, man, because this was an inside job. Y'all all know it. Don't try to blame it on no gangster rival, gangster shit, or settling of accounts, or he was on the police. That's all shit y'all say to put out to the fucking public to undermine our fucking people. And we know that shit.
Possibly starting with the judge not allowing the trial to be moved out of Dallas County.
There's a reason why they didn't want it to be here in Dallas County. Obviously the emotional appeal, you've seen a lot of emotion from the citizens here in Dallas County.
During the trial, crucial testimony that may have helped Geiger's defense was not allowed in court. 2 law enforcement officers said outside the presence of the jury that they believed Geiger acted reasonably and did not commit a crime. The judge declined to let the jury hear those opinions.
And they're going to look for, what are the appropriate issues that could potentially get this case overturned.
And it will likely be a while before we see this case back in court again. Geiger's legal team does need to do some procedural things like getting transcripts from the trial and also presenting.
But I need some of y'all to chime in and tell me what y'all think about the situation, because it's the same situation with President Kennedy. Nobody knows who killed him. The Grassy Knoll theory doesn't make any sense, or does it? It wasn't no what's his name? Not John Wilkes Booth. What's his name? Whoever killed Kennedy. The 3. You got 3 names.
You were telling the jury what you were feeling. I think you were saying something about.
But I remember
what you being in chips.
They blamed one man for it.
I compare it to being into a car wreck. Right before you hit that car, literally just everything freezes up inside your body. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's just.
That's her talking about what happened.
Fear inside.
What fear?
Was there a light on inside your apartment?
You didn't get hit by no motherfucking car.
As that door began to open.
The devil is a liar, fam. Don't be scared. Don't think nothing of it, man. Just keep trying and pushing for the truth, because the truth shall set us all free, like they said, right? So I ain't trying to hear none of this.
She was
scared shitless, right?
As the door opened, did you see anything in your
bullshit?
Yes, I did. That's
when I know it. I know it.
In the middle towards the windows when I saw the silhouette figures.
Ways about it.
I can't hear you. Repeat that again, please.
Whenever I fully opened the door, I saw this silhouette figure standing in the back of the apartment by the window.
You're saying figure?
Yes.
Okay. As you were opening, and
saw a silhouette figure. You didn't tell him to identify himself. None of that police shit kicked in, right? Because you're off duty.
All at the same time?
Yes, sir.
I used to see niggas, right?
When you saw that figure, or silhouette of a figure in the back, did you do anything?
Yes. That's whenever I pulled my gun out.
Hey, man, I gotta get my co-host to chime in on this.
Let me see your hands.
Because this shit is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, we're gonna continue this shit.
Hands, let me see your hands.
Joshua's testimony refuted Amber's claims that she gave police commands. Whether Amber gave police commands was such a critical element in the case that Joshua Brown was asked to testify about it 3 times. 3 times they had him testifying about this. No brainer of a motherfucking case.
What do you hear?
And y'all gonna fucking come tell me something?
Yeah.
And is that where the 2 hallways meet to make the turn? Okay.
I represent for my brother that's deceased. I don't agree with the family for what they did, the hugging, but at the end of the day, people mourn, people grieve, people deal with it differently. So they have it in such in their heart to forgive. That's that. You know what I'm saying? But soldiers like us,
so let's stop
we gonna ride out for it.
You said when you get to the conjunction between the 2 hallways,
in the real way. That's exposing the truth and giving y'all the light every single time. I ain't no joking around here.
So what made you think that it was two people meeting by the car?
Because I couldn't make out what either one of them was saying.
I got a bang against another brother that could possibly have the same fate as these two brothers right here.
It wasn't English, so
You gotta be a motherfucking.
two people meeting.
Hey, protect your family, man. Protect the people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Was
Stay
it
in your
two
lane.
separate
and do your
voices?
thing.
Could you
I'm
tell if one of the
exposed,
voices was giving loud commands like stop, police, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, but no, that wasn't what they were saying.
That's not what you heard?
No.
Okay.
Joshua Brown testified the second time and he did not.
Joshua, I want to hear something else.
And Amber Geiger did not give police.
When you hit the corner between
So
the
she
two
was banking on there was no witnesses. I witnessed it on top of that. Come on, dog.
You heard voices.
The defense is banking on them not knowing
like
what's up.
two voices mixing together at the same time, so that I couldn't make out what either one of them was saying.
Do you recall ever hearing someone say, "Hey, put your hands up" at a loud tone?
No, ma'am.
Or "Show me your hands"?
No, ma'am.
Or giving any type of those other commands that you were
Eyewitness testimony.
No, ma'am.
Motherfucking, the shit is, it's a no-brainer. I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. So for them to fucking start praising the judicial system and this, that, that's all bullshit. That's all fucking smoke and mirrors.
And so, just to be clear, when you're about to turn down that corner, you definitely hear two voices, correct?
Yes, sir.
And they're mixing together, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you can't say what was said in that apartment, correct?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
And then you hear the two gunshots, and like anyone would, you took off.
Yes, sir.
Crazy how that goes, right? Joshua's testimony was instrumental in exposing the critical flaw in Amber Geiger's testimony.
That's whenever I pulled my gun out and I yelled at him, like, "Let me see your hands, let me see your
So
hands."
you're telling me without this testimony, they couldn't have convicted this chick of murder?
Or anything of that nature.
Even if he didn't say none of this shit, the fucking
That's not what
scenario or what, the way it's presented,
That's whenever I pulled my
it
gun
don't make
out.
no sense. She got off the wrong floor,
Let me see your hands,
put her key in the wrong door,
Do you recall
opened the door, shot the dude,
hearing someone say,
standing by the
"Hey,
motherfucking
put your
window,
hands
eating
up,"
some
at a loud
motherfucking
tone?
ice
No,
cream?
ma'am.
Or "Show me your hands"?
No, ma'am.
Hey, man.
Or giving any type of those other commands that you
Suck
would
it
hear
up out.
police say on the tape?
I know.
No, ma'am.
I see some bullshit. So if there's a retrial, you can't testify. So I don't even think they're gonna ask for a retrial. They're just gonna fucking go through the motions. She's probably gonna do like 1/3 or 1/6 of her sentence. And then she'll be out again. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a statement about from the parents about what happened to Joshua Brown. Let me get a statement. What they think about that. You know? Would they hug his killer? You know? You know what I mean? Would the judge hug his killer? You know? They probably would. Because they all in cahoots, man. This shit is a motherfucking game. It's a setup. They got my man caught up in some bullshit that he wasn't supposed to be in. And now, boom. That. Like my man said, collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? Let's expound on that. what the meaning of collateral damage is. You know what I'm saying? My man Ronnie Depp was breaking it down real eloquently to me. I want to expound on that.
Hello.
Hello, my gracious co-host, Mr. Ronnie Depp. What's up, my brother? Good morning.
Good morning to you and all the good folks out there listening.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
good folks tuning in.
That's what's up. That's
to
what's
my
up.
little show. Thank you. Graciously.
Yeah, I'm here, touching on this touchy subject, about the Grassy Knoll theory, Dallas PD, and what happened to our late great brother Joshua Brown. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call him great because he stuck his neck out on the line, to save another. You know what I'm saying? To get retribution for another brother.
Now,
And the way the arrows are pointing, it looks like all of it points to retaliation. Revenge.
retaliation for what?
Exactly. What I wanted to ask you is, what we discussed this a little bit earlier. What you meant by collateral damage? Can you expound on that a little bit more for our viewers and the listeners out there?
See, the whole thing is, right? I'm a gentleman, right? I told the truth. Didn't lie. Told the truth about a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it was. This situation is wrong. What people are calling, and I said people, they use that term loosely, right? These people are saying was a good white sister, right?
A good white sister. Wow.
That's what they're saying. Now, there's only one group of people I want to refer.
Did they not see the transcripts of the court? They did not read the text messages she was sending back and forth to her boyfriend. The tweets that she was putting out, the motherfucking lies, and oh man, this is crazy.
They don't care about any of that. Only thing they care about is one of theirs went to jail because someone told the truth. That's the truth.
That's about it, right?
Someone had the balls to stand up and say, "Listen, this ain't right," because to them it's correct. To them it's correct. What happened? Which one's jail for? Black man. So yes, that's what it comes down to. That's the way they feel. They're like, I can't believe you had the guts to stand up there and hell on this beautiful woman.
Exactly.
My beautiful sister.
Got the gall.
It's crazy shit. The problem with this is, let me explain something to you real quick too, because
I don't see enough outrage, on the part of my black community, because I'm like, yo, there's all these gangs and gangsters in Dallas and shit like that. Talk about they got 100 blocks, 100 shots. I'm not saying they're not struggling in the struggle like us and shit like that, but yeah,
the problem with that is,
if they could get the motherfucking president in your city, who are you? And why do you all think that it's so like, oh, shit is crazy. Don't get me wrong, there's some real dudes in Dallas, but come on, man.
Yeah, Dallas has that history, Dallas has that history of that's a history of taking out people who tell the truth. It has a history of getting rid of people who were looking for justice.
Exactly.
There's a history of that.
Cause look what happened to
JFK.
to JFK, right? He was telling the truth about freeing black people. You know what I'm saying? He went outside of the box for a bit. He like, I don't know, man. He shifted dynamic into
Mr. Johnson was a having it.
Lyndon B, right? Along with, don't forget, the founder of the FBI, Hoover.
You see, allow me to interject here for a second. The problem with this is again, I began to say, but I right, a lot of the Western before. You know what I mean? The bailiff. A lot of these people understand that the courts are what's not what's just outside the courtroom. These people are there to see what's going on because every action is a reaction. It all depends on the person acting will determine what they will do, like they'll go to or not go to. Okay? You have people who in the daytime, they wear uniform, go to work, they wear pants and shirt regular, hey guys, work, and then at nighttime, they don't have motherfucking hoodie on. With two eyes cut out.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they do. But in the daytime, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're policemen.
I feel it's even deeper than that. It's a whole system of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? The KKK would just be the extremist branch. You know what I'm saying?
Those are the visible ones.
Exactly.
Those are the visible ones.
But you are right because they're in all level and branches of government. So you have to think about it like, is this the friggin' what it was created for, or did they co-opt it at a certain point? And how are we gonna fix it? You know what I'm saying? And getting back the proper way, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's either destroy or rebuild, or instill the bullshit into your children, and that's not the way we want to go, right?
I saw this thing break off. I saw this video this morning, and I actually put a post on Facebook about it, right? I believe this is also a very big problem in rapping. And people do not take this seriously now. Okay? They wait until something happens, then they want to react.
Had to do with the Illuminati.
You gotta step in and stop it before the ball gets rolling.
It all makes sense, you know?
Yeah, you know. You're not allowed to lose control. I watched this video this morning on Facebook, and it was this girl. She was hitting this guy. She was hitting him. Hitting him. I'm telling him something or the other. Like in terms of what are you gonna do? You know, like that. Like hitting him, slapping him in his face.
Wow.
The guy was backing up. Now, granted, I watched the video a couple of times because I tried to see if maybe there was something said that he catch the first or second time, you know, a third time. But no, the guy was walking backwards. He wanted to know part of what she was doing. She was stopping him, she was hitting him, and everything, right? And the guy backed up till he couldn't back up no more. And then she slapped him and hit him again in his face and told him, "What are you gonna do? Hit me and see what happens." You hear what she said? She said, "Hit me and see what happens." You understand me? You understand what we're saying? Hit me and see what happens. And the problem with that is, right? The problem with that is, she's there hitting him, he's backing up. Nobody, there was a girl dressed in red, all red.
Yeah.
Standing right beside the girl. And she refused, she didn't step in and say anything, she had nothing to say. The moment the guy took a swing on her, she jumped in, hit the guy and said, "Are you stupid?" You don't hit girls.
No, that's
Where
not
was
right.
she when the
That's not
Where
right.
was she when the girl was hitting him?
Exactly.
I'm telling you, where was she? She was right there when the girl was hitting him, and the guy was backing up. Okay? The guy was backing up, and she was hitting him. She didn't tell the girl to stop. Stop hitting the guy. The guy's trying to hit you back. Leave him alone. You understand me? Leave him alone. She didn't say that.
Yeah.
The moment that he swung, the moment.
That's when the equality is not there, you know.
Not only that, but if you pay attention, right?
But at the same time,
not only that, but if you pay attention, right, you would see that. You would see. Right.
It's like,
See that.
yeah.
She said to him, "Hit me and see what happens." A lot of these females have a false sense of security where if I do you something and you do me something back, I'm gonna run and go tell that to my brother, to my cousins, to my friends who are looking to get a little bit of sugar from me. But they don't do anything, they got much sense. You understand what I'm saying? All it takes is a promise, you go crack somebody's head, right? For her. This is the problem. This really is the problem.
Word.
Because she has the ability now to run and go tell whoever she's going to tell, this guy hit me. That's all they want to know. They come in full head of speed, they come in hot. Look at the hurt somebody.
Yep.
You understand what I mean? That's the problem.
Yep.
That is the problem. It's too prevalent, it's too rampant. That's
Yep.
the problem.
But all of that is a derivative of the system of white supremacy, because at the end of the day, we all know that certain things hold us back from having certain what you call it, accesses to should I say industries. So we look at it like, oh fuck, we're already marginalized.
You're fine.
But the people don't actually see it that way, you know? So what we tried to do was create a balance.
We are connected.
In a situation where, well, let's just say very hard. It's very hard. And it happens a lot. I'm gonna draw on numbers. It happens a lot, right? Happens to everybody. Somebody's gonna chime in and say, well, it don't happen to me. It don't happen to her. It don't happen to him. Every time. All right? That's what. This is very bad. Sometimes have parents at home, just like the brothers, because sometimes it's money whoever like her. You have the parents now. The money goes on the mother. The mother will jump up and say, what? Someone get my baby girl? Show me where he at. Okay. You have somebody, you have to go tell the father. The father will go grab his what? Baseball bat, go grab his gun, right? Look to kill somebody.
Yeah, but if somebody hit your kid, you would feel a certain ways too. Still.
Yeah, I would feel away, but let me explain something to you. We know our children. And let me tell you something. My son, I'm going to tell you right now. That's one thing he will tell you. I've been to the school because my son was in trouble. I know my son enough. No, he will do this, he won't do that. You understand me? And I'm going to get the truth out of him. Nobody's going to come and tell me this happened.
Word.
And I'm going to go break his head. I'm going to sit and talk to him. And let's be clear on this. A lot of us know that our children are a little shit. We know that. We don't want them to get fucked up outside. But the road they're traveling, they don't listen to us. It's what they want, right? They'll never run outside to break somebody's head. Sometimes, I'm sorry, inside the day, they need a hard fucking laugh. They need it. sorry. I don't want to get this.
You see, that's where I disagree. I don't think we should hit our kids because they're not slaves, you know?
I'm not talking about us, man. I'm not talking about us.
Oh,
I'm talking about outside of the street. You can't bring that shit outside of the street.
okay.
You just like me, my kids are the parents. We both sides, you don't care. They go break their head. That's what I'm saying. You know, we have that love for them. They don't know time.
Word,
They
word,
not carry their, that's what they say. Don't carry their show on the road.
word. I can dig it.
You understand what I'm saying? That's not when you go hit them and let you unlucky blow. But they don't get the fuck back up.
Nah, I can dig
And
it.
as much as you want to take, that person, they're not getting to your child. It's your child, and then bring the child, you go try to start shit. It would be a different story. A lot of times you gotta be able to control our emotions. Look at that.
Yep, that's true.
You gotta be able to control. Listen, man, I know people. You know people, right? Who went out there and have to get something pull out. And when somebody did them something, what do you do? Oh my God, my child, I don't understand. I don't get it. Of course you do. Shit. You understand?
Well, that's why this show's so deep because these things are happening, and on the other side, we're being silenced, and we can't fight for each other. You know what I'm saying? On an equal playing field, because we gotta look out for each other. You know, it shouldn't be oh, because he's disciplining his child a certain way or whatnot. That's a bad thing. Yeah, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Again, when you go inside,
And then you become a social pariah. You know.
you understand what I'm saying? You want to run outside, like I said, you want to run outside and feel like
And then that's where the
people would probably sick their mind their own business.
conflict comes
I
in.
got sick and tired of it. I got up and I did something about it. Now you want to go here with it. Shit, man. Shit,
Word up, man. Word up. I just feel like this Joshua Brown situation is a real eye opener, and people got to get smart quick.
I agree with you. You're gonna, you know, in the coming days, the coming weeks, you're gonna see people a lot of different narratives. Say, oh well, maybe you know these people did it, or maybe that happened, and this happened, maybe the facility, maybes and what ifs. But you know, there's just one thing that triggers brains called common sense, and common sense will win the day. I'm certain common sense will win the day on this. And like you said,
Common sense will win the day. They had him testify 3 times about the situation, about the same, like the whole scenario and what happened. Like this case wasn't a no-brainer from the start. You know what I mean? Like it's
but I don't understand. I don't even understand why they needed so-called witnesses, this, that, all that. Like she went into the man's place, shot him, and I don't understand. Like, what else do you need?
Didn't provide him with no CPR or nothing like that.
Like honestly, what else do you need, man? What else do you need? Seriously.
So now it's an insult to our intelligence. So to add insult to injury, they do these type of things, right?
I don't understand, man.
Because the legal proceedings and this whole thing was It was very theatrical, you know, and it was done very It was done very deliberately, you know. Because remember when the guard was stroking her hair?
Because she got sentenced.
Yeah, she stroked her hair, but there was I think there was like a courtroom judge sitting behind Geiger and signaled to the officer to go console her. You know, like his head nodded up, like he signaled it to her. You know, his head nodded, and then that's when she went to go do that. You know, so it was a whole like
to console her.
Yeah.
But this is a person who just killed somebody.
Yeah, and then after the whole theatrics, yeah, it's probably about money, you know. They're probably trying to get some money and shit, but at the same time, it's like it's crazy.
Okay. He's not looking at stuff what to do, but he got something there. Definitely have something there.
Because these people are masters of
deception.
Yeah, they're masters of deception, and they're also like they're very cunning. So they'll do stuff deliberately to catch something that could be put up as a meme, and maybe with those memes, the more you click on it, the more you share it and everything like that, it creates revenue. So all these things are put into perspective, you know, with the algorithms and
Absolutely. When a person says, "Yo, did you see?" That's all it takes. So go look at it. That's all it takes. Nobody wants to be left out, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be left. In the age of technology, in the age of social media, everyone knows they have it at their fingers. If they don't know it in the moment, if you mention it, they go look it up and find it.
Exactly. And then everybody wants to be first. Yeah, you know?
Exactly.
So they don't even care if they're reporting real news or not.
First person is always the person who makes the act. So when first person is always the person who makes the act. So when you see, I want you to pay attention to this too.
And everybody wants to. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna make a point after.
For some reason, you pay attention to the people who always seem to get the story first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not like coincidence that certain people seem always get the story first. No, they don't get the story first. They don't see the story first. They are fed the story.
Right.
Part of the narrative. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You ever sat and watched? So how does TMC get there so early? How does TMC get it so quick? Like, it happened like 10 minutes ago. Y'all was done doing on things like that. How do they get it? How do they get it? How do they get it? Because you gotta look at the people who are running TMC, the people who are running CMC. These people are all in bed together.
Yep. It's like 5 major corporations that run all the
media,
all the channels. Yeah. So it's like. But at the end of the day, there's ways around it, you know. Cause look, the black billionaire Byron Allen, he's buying up a bunch of TV stations and stuff, you know. He just bought up a bunch of them for like 270 million.
He just bought 11 TV stations. He bought the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But you see, Byron Allen, God bless him, in one hand, in the next. Why he's doing all this stuff? Because he's gonna play ball.
That's what I'm saying, you know. That's all it is. That's what
That's all it is.
Got me a little.
Let me explain to you what this is, my man. Right? And for the people who are listening, I need you to understand something. When Bill Cosby tried to acquire the television station, they made sure he didn't get it. A lot of people came out and made a whole lot of noise. I said, look,
because they didn't know what Bill was up to, you know. Bill was moving on a wave that not much people really accomplished. Richard Pryor was gonna do it, but Bill had it, you know.
True.
Can you dig it?
Oh man. In 1997, a federal task force on Korea planned to sell the Soviet Union a tank, $35 million in a submarine. Oh shit.
Well, that's what I'm trying to show you. Like, all these things. Look, you're trying to impeach Trump.
I don't understand what's so hard.
It's all smoke and mirrors, dog. Because now they're saying Trump indicted himself because he couldn't trust the people around him. Yo, it's crazy, man.
He indicted himself. I remember Pablo Escobar built his own prison too. Nah, come on. You understand? Blatant bullshit like that. The man goes and builds his own prison and goes and walks into it. Look, guys, you don't gotta lock me up. I'm in here.
Because he had all the resources, you know?
You understand what I'm saying? You're talking about a man
Are you-
built with a tunnel underneath to get out whenever he felt like.
Man could have fixed his own elections. You think he gives a shit about? But anyways, it was the CIA that let him get fat, yo. CIA said, "Yeah, you're a gangster. Okay, here, come. We'll make you get rich. We're gonna blame, and then we're gonna blame everything on you." You know, the boogeyman aspect, you know.
That's correct. Whenever he's blamed on him, he want to take him out.
Yeah, because yo, at the end of the day, Oliver North didn't he what you call it? Didn't he testify about that? Nicaragua and the Contras and all that, how they funded the war.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So why wouldn't they do that in Colombia, you know? You know, have two factions going against each other and then reaping the benefits. Yeah.
Not Colombia. America was built on this. You know, if you build it on deception, it's gonna run on deception.
Yep.
It built on deception. It's gonna have to run on deception. You can't run now. Crazy. You see the most massive riot you've ever seen. You can't come on and tell you, okay, this is bullshit, that is bullshit. Like, small things, right? It's a small thing. You're not gonna come on and say, okay, it's all good. Don't pay taxes anymore. Period.
Yeah, let's listen to it though.
As you all know by now, my name is.
Let's listen to it for a second. Oliver North's Iran-Contra hearing. He broke everything
As you all
down.
know by now, my name is Oliver North, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Marine Corps.
And they're gonna tell us,
My
oh,
best
that shit.
friend is my wife,
There's
Betsy,
no connection
whom I
with
have
the
been married
CIA and
19
crack
years,
cocaine in the hood.
and with whom I have had 4
Reagan
wonderful children, aged 18, 16, 11, and 6.
Ronald Reagan. Right?
I came to the National Security Council 6 years ago to work in the administration of a great president. As a staff member, I came to understand his goals and his desires. I admired his policies, his strength, and his ability to bring our country together. I observed the president to be a leader who cared deeply about people and who believed that the interests of our country were advanced by recognizing that ours is a nation at risk in a dangerous world and acting accordingly. He tried.
Because remember back in the day, cocaine and all that shit was legal, you know.
World peace by strengthening our country, by acting to restore and sustain democracy throughout the world, and by having the courage to take decisive action when needed.
Were used by dentists back in the day.
Yeah, exactly, right? To numb the pain.
That's what they used to use to numb your mouth. Yeah. This stuff from back in the days.
Probably still
I
do.
believe that we must guard against a rather perverse side of American life, and that is the tendency to launch vicious attacks and criticism against our elected officials. President Reagan.
Pardon? Say that again?
So, once the black man turns a profit off of it, then it becomes wrong.
Exactly.
black man is able to take it. Look, when the black man, when they put the dope in the ghettos, and the black man was taking it, look at strung out, fucked up, not caring about the realities of life.
They didn't
right?
care.
They
They just say no. Now all of a sudden,
But now that they took it, they said, fuck that shit, I'm gonna start selling your ass this shit right here. Now, what happened? Was it 20 years, 30 years? You're right. What? What do they do? What do they do now? Oh, you want to sell it? No problem.
here, let's continue. Let's continue the hearing. Hold on. Listen.
Has made enormous contributions, and he deserves our respect and admiration. The National Security Council is, in essence, the president's staff. It helps to formulate and coordinate national security policy. Some, perhaps on this committee, believe that the NSC was devoid of experienced leadership. I believe that is wrong. While at the NSC, I worked most closely with three people: Mr. Robert C. McFarlane, Admiral John Poindexter, and CIA Director William Casey. Bud McFarlane is a man who devoted nearly 30 years of his life to public service in a number of responsible positions.
Bob McFarlane.
At the NSC, he worked long hours,
Admiral
made
Poindexter.
great contributions, and I admire
These are all the
him for
dope
those
dealers.
efforts.
These are the dope dealers.
Admiral Poindexter is a distinguished naval officer who served in a number of important positions of responsibility. He too was a tireless worker with a similar record of public service, and I too admire him greatly. William Casey was a renowned lawyer, a war veteran of heroic proportions, and a former chairman of the SEC. I understood that he was also a close personal friend and advisor to President Reagan.
Former chairman of
Nearly a
the
century
SEC.
of combined public service by these three men. As a member of the NSC staff, I knew that I held a position of responsibility, but I knew full well what my position was. I did not engage in fantasy that I was the president or vice president or cabinet member or even the director of the National Security Council. I was simply a staff member with a demonstrated ability to get the job done. Over time, I was made responsible for managing a number of complex and sensitive covert operations that we have discussed here today. I reported directly to Mr. McFarlane and to Admiral Poindexter. I coordinated directly with others.
You hear that?
Director Casey. My authority to act always flowed, I believe, from my superiors. My military training inculcated in me a strong belief in the chain of command. Insofar as I can recall, I always acted on major matters with specific approval, after informing my superiors of the facts as I knew them, the risks, and the potential benefits. I readily admit that I was action-oriented, that I took pride in the fact that I was counted upon as a man who got the job done. And I don't mean
He was
this
counted
in a way of
upon
criticism.
as the man who got the job done.
When my superiors, confronted with accomplishing goals or difficult tasks, would simply say, "Fix it,
Y'all
Ollie.
like,
We'll
comment,
take care of it."
subscribe, share.
Since
Holla
graduating
at
from
your
the
boy.
Naval Academy in 1968, I have strived to be the best
We're
Marine
gonna break
officer
this
that
shit
one
down,
can
man.
be.
This shit is deep.
In combat, my goal was always to understand the objective, follow orders, accomplish the mission.
So when you hear a brother getting gunned down in the hood, it's not always the hood that did it. Can you dig it?
One of the few good things that has come from the last 7 months of worldwide notoriety has been the renewed contact that I've had with some of the finest people in the world, those with whom I served in Vietnam. Among the 50,000 or so messages of support that have arrived since I left the NSC are many from those who recount the horrors we lived through and who now relate stories of their families and careers. After Vietnam, I worked with my fellow officers to train good Marines to be ready in case we were called upon elsewhere in the world, but at the same time, to hope that we never were. I honestly believe that any soldier who has ever been to a war truly hopes he will never see one again. My Marine Corps career was on track in 1981 when I was detailed to the National Security Council. I was uneasy at the beginning, but I came to believe that it was important work. And as years passed and responsibilities grew, I got further from that which I loved, the Marine Corps and Marines. During 1984, 85, and 86, there were periods of times when we worked 2 days in every one. My guess is that the average workday lasted at least 14 hours. To respond to various crises, the need for such was frequent, and we would often go without a night's sleep, hoping to recoup the next night or thereafter. If I had to estimate the number of meetings and discussions and phone calls over that 5 years, it would surely be in the tens of thousands. My only real regret is that I virtually abandoned my family for work during these years. And that work consisted of my first few years on the staff as a project officer for a highly classified and compartmented national security project, which is not a part of this inquiry. I worked hard on the political military strategy for restoring and sustaining democracy in Central America, and in particular, El Salvador. We sought to achieve the democratic outcome in Nicaragua that this administration still supports, which involved keeping the Contras together in both body and soul. We made efforts to open a new relationship with Iran and recover our hostages.
Yeah,
We
man.
worked on the development of a concerted policy regarding terrorists and terrorism and a capability for dealing in a concerted manner with
So they're
threats.
saying they brought
We
democracy.
worked on various crises such as TWA
They're bringing
47,
democracy
the
everywhere.
capture of the QA
So
law,
they gotta do all these
the rescue of
different
American students in Grenada, and
underhanded.
the restoration of democracy on that small island, and the U.S. raid on Libya in response to their terrorist attacks. And as some may well be willing to admit, there were efforts made to work with the Congress on legislative programs. There were many problems. I believe that we worked as hard as we could to solve them, and sometimes we succeeded, and sometimes we failed. But at least we tried, and I want to tell you that I, for one, will never regret having tried. I believe that this is a strange process that you are putting me and others through. Apparently, the president has chosen not to assert his prerogatives, and you have been permitted to make the rules. You call before you the officials of the executive branch. You put them under oath for what must be collectively thousands of hours of testimony. You dissect that testimony to find inconsistencies and declare some to be truthful and others to be liars. You make the rulings as to what is proper and what is not proper. You put the testimony which you think is helpful to your goals up before the people and leave others out. It's sort of like a baseball game in which you are both the player and the umpire. It's a game in which you call the balls and strikes, and where you determine who is out and who is safe. And in the end, you determine the score and declare yourselves the winner. From where I sit, it is not the fairest process.
What are you
One
saying
thing
is
is, I think for certain
serious shit.
that you will not investigate yourselves in this matter. There is not much chance that you will conclude at the end of these hearings that the Boland amendments and the frequent policy changes, therefore, were unwise, or that your restrictions should not have been imposed on the executive branch. You are not likely to conclude that the administration acted properly by trying to sustain the freedom fighters in Nicaragua when they were abandoned. And you are not likely to conclude by commending the President of the United States, who tried valiantly to recover our citizens and achieve an opening to strategically vital Iran. I would not be frank with you if I did not admit that the last several months have been very difficult for me and my family. It has been difficult to be on the front pages of every newspaper in the land day after day.
Full of shit.
Story on national
These guys
television,
full of shit.
day after
These
day,
guys sitting around.
to be photographed thousands of times by bands of photographers who chase us around since November just because my name arose at the hearings. It is difficult to be caught in the middle of a constitutional struggle between the executive and legislative branches over who will formulate and direct the foreign policy of this nation. It is difficult to be vilified by people in and out of this body. Some will proclaim that I am guilty of criminal conduct even before they heard me. Others have said that I would not tell the truth when I came here to testify. And one member asked a person testifying before this body whether he would believe me under oath. I asked when I got here, if you don't believe me, why call me at all? It has been difficult to see questions raised about my character and morality, my honesty, because only partial evidence was provided. And as I indicated yesterday, I think it was insensitive of this committee to place before the cameras my home address at a time when my family and I are under 24-hour armed guard by over a dozen government agents of the Naval Investigative Service because of fear that terrorists will seek revenge for my official acts and carry out their announced intentions to kill me. It is also difficult to comprehend that my work at the NSC, all of which was approved and carried out in the best interests of our country, has led to two massive parallel investigations staffed by over 200 people. It is mind-boggling to me that one of those investigations is criminal, and that some here have attempted to criminalize policy differences between co-equal branches of government and the executive's conduct of foreign affairs. I believe it is inevitable that the Congress will in the end blame the executive branch, but I suggest to you that it is the Congress which must accept at least some of the blame in the Nicaraguan freedom fighters matter. Plain and simple, the Congress is to blame because of the fickle, vacillating, unpredictable, on-again, off-again policy toward the Nicaraguan democratic resistance, the so-called Contras. I do not believe that the support of the Nicaraguan freedom fighters can be treated as the passage of a budget. I suppose if the budget doesn't get passed on time again this year, there will be inevitably another extension of a month or two. But the Contras, the Nicaraguan freedom fighters, are people, living, breathing young men and women who have had to suffer a desperate struggle for liberty with sporadic and confusing support from the United States of America. Armies need food and consistent help. They need a flow of money, of arms, clothing, and medical supplies. The Congress of the United States allowed the executive to encourage them to do battle and then abandon them. The Congress of the United States left soldiers in the field unsupported and vulnerable to their communist enemies. When the executive branch did everything possible within the law to prevent them from being wiped out by Moscow's surrogates in Havana and Managua, you then had this investigation to blame the problem on the executive branch. It does not make sense to me. In my opinion, these hearings have caused serious damage to our national interests. Our adversaries laugh at us, and our friends recoil in horror.
See that?
I suppose it would be one thing if the intelligence committees wanted to hear.
You saying, yo, you guys put me out to do a job and now you're ratting on me?
Make for better policy.
Y'all motherfucking fuck.
Better functioning government. To hold the public for the whole world to see strikes me as very harmful. Not only does it embarrass our friends and allies with whom we have worked, many of whom.
Yo, the man say, yo, this is embarrassing.
But it must also make them very wary of helping us again. I believe that these hearings,
yo, it's embarrassing to our allies, man. Yo, we're not gonna get no more help
in the operation of our government. And sources and methods of intelligence activities have clearly been revealed to the detriment of our security. As a result of rumor and speculation and innuendo, I have been accused of almost every crime imaginable. Wild rumors have abounded. Some media reports have suggested that I was guilty of espionage for the way I handled U.S. intelligence. Some have said I was guilty of treason and suggested in front of my 11-year-old daughter that I should be given the death penalty. Some said I stole $10 million. Some said I was second only in power to the President of the United States, and others that I condoned drug trafficking to generate funds for the Contras, or that I personally ordered assassinations, or that I was conducting my own foreign policy. It's even been suggested that I was the personal confidant of the President of the United States. These and many other stories are patently untrue. I don't mind telling you that I'm angry at what some have attempted to do to me and my family. I believe that these committee hearings will show that you have struck some blows, but I am going to walk from here with my head high and my shoulders straight because I am proud of what we accomplished. I am proud of the efforts that we made. I am proud of the fight that we fought. I am proud of serving in the administration of a great president. I am not ashamed of anything in my professional or personal conduct. As we go through this process, I ask that you continue to please keep an open mind. Please be open-minded and able to admit that perhaps your preliminary conclusions about me were wrong. And please also, do not mistake my attitude for lack of respect. I am in awe of this great institution, just as I am in awe of the presidency. Both are equal branches of government with separate areas of responsibility under the Constitution that I have taken an oath to support and defend, and I have done so, as many of you have. And although I do not agree with what you are doing or the way that it is being done, I do understand your interest in obtaining the facts, and I have taken an oath to tell the truth in helping you to do so. In closing, Mr. Chairman, and I thank you for this opportunity, I would just simply like to thank the tens of thousands of Americans who have communicated their support, encouragement, and prayers for me and my family in this difficult time.
That's full of shit. But there you have it, you know. Once again, the rabbit hole gets deep. That was a script if I ever heard one. He said, "Yo, how dare you guys come at me like that? Like, yo, you guys supposed to stay on code. We're not supposed to throw each other under the bus."
I'm supposed to do my bullshit and get away with it. Basically, the only thing he didn't say is,
And that's how they teach the world to be. You know? Exactly.
Basically, he could have came right up and said that. We're all about this bullshit together. Okay, for himself, all right. I don't know better to hear that. He said good night. That was it.
Trust me.
That's what I never did. So, you have to make it look like no one thought I did justice. It was close enough. What you didn't see was this. So now that you see this,
Yeah, that's crazy, you know, because you gotta.
what? Why?
Anyway,
That's outside.
anyway, the Joshua Brown situation.
Loud for me because of my hair. Really?
Yo.
Yeah.
So until we get
Yeah, man.
the truth about what happened to him, it's safe to say that it was retaliation.
That's that's the way to look at it. Because you look at timing. I always tell you about timing. Timing. Speak about this. I make this all the time. Timing. Why? Right now. You know what I mean? Never something happens. But look around and see what happens, see what's going on. To see why. Right now.
So what's going on? Behind the scene, what's going on right now?
Someone just got sentenced to 10 years.
True.
For killing someone that they don't believe is a human being.
Right.
So
That simple, eh?
that it really is. It really is. Like,
God
if
damn it.
get shot, look, that's the thing. That's how rednecks operate. They're not very sophisticated with this shit. They're not very sophisticated with this shit. You're kind of like shaggy. Caught me in the shower. It wasn't me. Motherfucker, I saw you doing it. Oh, it wasn't me. Okay.
I don't think it was no redneck that killed him though. I think it was some real.
When I say redneck,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just to clarify, you know.
guys enjoy those cars, but a lot of those guys enjoy those organizations that are not right this sharp spot. The lack, no question, you know.
So let's look into Dallas. The Dallas, a lot of stuff happened in Dallas, yo. You remember the brother? They call him. Remember when the like 9 police got shot up in Dallas, and they said it was a brother that did it. It's crazy, man. Gotta look into Dallas. Dallas is one of the. Some bullshit always be happening in the state of Texas. Anyway, yo, you seen what happened though? Everybody was so vexed, was so mad at the judge that hugged Amber Geiger and gave her the Bible.
That's conduct unbecoming. Not supposed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So now she was reprimanded for that, I think.
She should be, as she should be. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never ever in my life, if I don't watch the word show, I've never seen or heard. We would have heard about it by now. If somebody pulled that shit, we would have heard about it.
Mammyism. That's what that is. That's a real Stockholm syndrome self-hate.
That's I'm doing my job. I'm sorry you gotta go to jail. Sorry, I gotta be the one to pay. Out there probably told her, please don't have it. Please don't have it. Take me out.
No, but not only the hug, but like
Bible and
the Bible.
little things that follow, man. The whole brother situation or giving and hugging. You know, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Did somebody tell him to do that? You know, somebody threatened him, somebody threatened the family. I'm trying to think.
For the bag, bro.
The guy who testified, he's dead. So I'm you know, you gotta go there with these thoughts. Right or wrong, it's a possibility. You gotta explore it. You know, that's good. Can I ignore you? I'm good for it. You know, look what happened. The other guy didn't want to play ball. He got I don't think so. He got out. You know, where to get that here. We see people doing things that are fun. People doing things that you say to yourself, I know a lot when it's happening. Yeah, there's something going on. I guarantee. But a lot of cases it is, and it's just what it is.
It can't be. Somebody named Jason Lee said it makes no sense for the cops to kill him when the trial is over. It's too late. They would have killed him before. They would be bringing way too much heat. 90% of blacks are killed by other blacks. That's
And if
what.
you read body language too, while he was giving his statement to court, he gave his statements and he put his head down. He's probably like, oh, yeah, put his head down and shit.
Mm.
When you're in certain places, you gotta be in it to understand. You gotta be in it to understand. You don't know who's right.
So you don't think they would have had a retrial?
For what? For Amber?
You said it's probably a robbery gone bad. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're right. It's probably probably a robbery. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but the coincidences are too.
Next week?
They're too like.
You're going with
They're
me
too
next
close.
week? Huh?
Huh?
You going with me next week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hunt Bigfoot.
I'm coming. Sasquatch? Yeah, for sure. All day.
If anybody believes that, hey, let them come with me and let's go hunt Bigfoot.
Cause damn. The shit gotta add up, But in Dallas, there is a lot of gang stuff that goes on,
The timing. I'm sorry. I cannot believe anything else. I would have given that to
NCM is amazing.
But I'm really thinking about it. And the timing is no, it doesn't no.
No, I'm not saying it happened, but when it comes to like blaming it on something like
At
that.
the end of the day, anything is possible. Just the timing has me more inclined to believe different,
Okay.
The timing has me inclined to believe different. It's possible at the end of the day. But that's my personal opinion on it. I won't say that.
Yeah, the timing is kind of messed up, and it's kind of blatant, So, like,
what it is, though.
They needed his testimony 3 times in order for them to really understand what she was thinking.
And if anyone, yep.
Kind of wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm. The testimony 2-3 times, the first time.
Jason Lee, who you think killed Kennedy? I want to answer that one. No, this guy here, Jason Lee. Well, yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
Not Jason. Don't be shy.
He said the government. Word.
Absolutely.
The Grassy Knoll theory, right?
Huh? You look at things. Of course it is. You gotta look at when Johnson took him out. And as soon before that body was cold, Johnson was already implementing things. And was already reversing shit that Kennedy was doing. That Kennedy put into effect.
Word. Yep.
The timing.
The timing is all off. Yep.
Yeah. Had the motherfucker waited for like 2 months. Said, okay, well, we gotta do something about this thing. That would have been a different story. But that motherfucker was literally sitting down waiting. That motherfucker was sitting down waiting. Because he knew what was up. Shit, man, if you stand up in the line at McDonald's, you stand up in the line at McDonald's, You know, when you get to the front, you're gonna get a burger, you're gonna get a shake, you're gonna get fries, you're gonna get whatever you want, you're gonna get, right? You got an idea at least. You got motherfuckers.
Oh shit!
You know what's going on?
There's even more news, man. More bullshit. The woman who filmed Dallas police officer Amber Geiger shoot Botham Jean fired.
You said
So,
what?
so she was the neighbor and she was fired from her job at a pharmaceutical company.
These don't surprise me.
She said that she's been labeled a black radical and her life is in turmoil ever since. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Look out for that sister, man. Protect her at all costs. According to her, people people began contacting the pharmaceutical company where she worked, claiming she was a radical anti-police and black extremist. As a result, she claimed the company did not want the publicity and fired her, as well as revoking the credentials from her profession. Bomboclat.
They literally
See,
take
there's levels to
ability
this.
to make $1 away from you.
Levels to this, son.
Yeah, they literally take your ability to make $1 away from
Yeah, what's up with that? You know?
you. After that, if they take it away from you, who do you have to beg back for it? Right? You gotta beg back for it.
Then they asked Jagmeet Singh. Remember the guy that's going for running for prime minister, Jagmeet Singh? They asked him, yo,
what? Let me tell you something. I want Jagmeet to win so bad.
Yeah, me too, man. Because at the end of the day, they're asking him, yo, what the hell, man? They're asking the dude,
I want Jagmeet.
how you going
to win because
how you gonna give the natives free drinking water? He's like, if Montreal needed drinking water, would we asking you that question? If Toronto needed drinking water, would we be asking that question?
let me tell you, I want Jagmeet to win. I know this.
Yeah. Anyway, the natives need fresh drinking water just like everybody else. Even the people in Flint, Michigan, they need fresh drinking water. I mean, that shouldn't even be a campaign attribute. That should just be the norm for everybody out here, you know? Did Joshua ever say he's scared the cops are going to kill him? Damn, did he say that? Probably not. Probably thought everything was all right. But why would he be scared the cops are going to kill him? I don't understand that question. I really don't understand that question, man. Can you elaborate on that? No, but why would he be scared that the cops are gonna kill him? Amber's ex. What? The Hispanic guy. Okay, I see, I see. Man, I don't really get, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know, man. The shit seems fishy, man. Could be the usual suspects. I don't know. But when you're talking about a situation like this, it's a real, it's a real eye opener, and it looks like a show, you know, going on right in front of you, you know, in real time, real people, and everything is displayed at your fingertips, right? So we could speculate, but I ain't gonna turn this into a racial issue. I just want justice for my brother, and I want justice for JFK, and we're gonna just leave it at that. Until next time, you already know what time it is. Exactly, exactly. You know, I ain't gonna front. Shit could happen, you know. In the hood, a lot of shit happens, but it's not turn this to something it ain't. Cause it's real in the field, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really ask yourself. This is well, you want your kids to grow up in. Think about it. It's your boy Matt Miller about this shit. Tune in next time. Like, subscribe, comment on my shit. Tell me what you think about the show. You dig?